Wow. Um, this deep dive looks like it's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
We've got some pretty diverse material to work with here.
Yeah. It's pretty wild. We've got German folklore,
Yeah.
poetry, a dictator who likes to yell struts,
Mm-hmm.
and even a beer versus wine battle rap.
Definitely eclectic.
Yeah. But you know what? I think we might find some unexpected connections if we look closely enough.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Let's let's see where this takes us. Where should we start?
Well, I think the Sandman is a good place to begin.
Okay.
You know, he kind of embodies this idea of power and the subconscious.
Right. Yeah, and we've got a few different versions of him here.
Hmm.
The menacing figure from German folklore and T.S. Eliot's poetry.
Right.
And then there's that whimsical but still kind of unsettling character in E.T.A. Hoffman's story.
Yeah, I mean, those Doza crew lyrics really tap into that primal fear of the unknown, right?
Yeah, it's pretty dark stuff.
Portraying him as this terrifying figure who brings nightmares,
Yeah.
makes children's eyes bleed.
It's intense. And then Hoffman adds this layer of psychological complexity,
Right.
like suggesting that the Sandman might not be a literal monster,
Hmm.
but more like a representation of our own darker imaginations.
Interesting. So we're not just talking about political power here.
Exactly. It's about the power of the subconscious,
Uh-huh.
how it shapes our perceptions, influences our emotions,
Right.
taps into our deepest fears and desires. The Sandman kind of embodies that power.
Okay. Yeah. It's like those nightmares you have that stick with you,
Mm-hmm.
even after you wake up. You know, they're not real,
Right.
but they still affect you.
Exactly. And it makes you wonder about our relationship with those shadow parts of ourselves.
Yeah.
Do we try to suppress them, embrace them, or is it somewhere in between?
It's fascinating how a children's bedtime story can raise such complex questions.
Absolutely. And it's not just the Sandman. Think about dictators.
Oh, yeah.
They often try to exert that same kind of psychological control using propaganda and fear to manipulate people.
Okay. So let's talk about dictators.
Let's do it.
We've got Charlie Chaplin's The Great Dictator.
Yeah.
He satirized Hitler during the rise of Nazi Germany. Talk about a bold move.
Oh, yeah. Extremely bold, but also brilliant. The
Yeah.
way he uses humor to expose the absurdity of power-hungry leadership. It's incredible.
He makes us laugh at the dictator,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, he's showing us how dangerous that kind of leadership can be.
Exactly. He dismantles this myth of the all-powerful leader,
Right.
shows him to be a flawed, ridiculous human being.
Yeah, driven by ego and insecurity.
Exactly. And it's not just about taking down the dictator himself.
Right.
The film also highlights the dangers of blind obedience.
Oh, yeah.
And the importance of thinking for yourself.
Especially in the face of propaganda.
Absolutely. That message is just as relevant today as it was back then.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It makes you wonder, what would Chaplin make of today's world?
Right?
Social media echo chambers, misinformation.
Yeah, I bet he'd still be using humor to fight against those who try to control and manipulate us.
Probably. So we've got these two examples of power.
Okay.
The psychological power of the subconscious.
Represented by the Sandman.
Yep. And then the political power of the dictator.
Satirized by Chaplin.
Mm-hmm. Where do the drinks fit in?
Mm.
We've got this beer versus wine battle rap.
Oh, yeah. From Doza Crew Walser Trinkt.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny.
It is.
But I'm curious to see what deeper insights we can get from it.
Yeah, it's interesting how it reflects different ideas about enjoyment and relaxation.
How so?
Well, the beer enthusiast is all about being bodenstandic.
Bodenstandic.
Yeah, down to earth, approachable. Someone who enjoys the simple things in life.
Okay. So good times with friends, a sense of community.
Exactly, letting loose a bit.
Yeah.
While the wine connoisseur,
Great.
he prides himself on elegance, refinement,
Mm-hmm.
and appreciation for the finer things.
Okay.
It's like they represent two different philosophies of life, two different ways of navigating the world.
Interesting. It makes you wonder, what are the cultural forces that shape these perceptions of beer and wine?
Like, why is beer associated with masculinity and working class culture,
Right.
and wine with sophistication and luxury?
Those are great questions. And they point to how even simple things like our choice of drink can be loaded with cultural meaning, social significance, what we consume, how we relax, even how we express our enjoyment. It all speaks to our values,
Interesting.
our beliefs, our
Yeah.
place in society.
So we're constantly sending signals to the world about who we are.
Exactly. Even through our everyday choices.
Wow.
And those signals are being interpreted,
Mm.
judged, categorized by others.
It's like this unspoken language.
It is. a fascinating dance between individual expression and societal expectations.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is fascinating, right? How a simple drink can be so symbolic. But speaking of symbolism,
Yeah.
what about that turtle?
Oh, yeah. I was wondering when we'd get to that.
It might seem random, but I think it adds something important to our conversation about power and control.
Okay.
Yeah.
That image of the red-eared slider just chilling, looking all wise,
Right.
it's definitely been sticking with me.
Yeah.
So what's the connection?
Well, turtles are known for being slow and steady, right?
Yeah.
Resilient, adaptable. They've been around for millions of years.
They've definitely seen some stuff.
Yeah, like they have this ancient wisdom to share, a reminder that sometimes it's better to adapt than to force things.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah.
So how does that relate to power?
Well, it offers a different perspective, right? Not about dominating or controlling others.
Right.
It's about finding inner strength,
Okay.
resilience, a sense of peace and security.
So power from within.
Exactly. Recognizing that true power isn't about forcing your will on the world,
Mm-hmm.
but learning to adapt,
Right.
be flexible,
Okay.
finding that grounded center within yourself.
I love that. It's like the turtle's shell,
Yeah.
a protective barrier
Yeah.
that lets it move through the world with confidence.
That's a great analogy. And it brings us back to that tension we were talking about. Control versus chaos. Right. Order versus disorder.
Conscious versus subconscious.
The turtle embodies that tension.
Okay.
Hard protective shell, but living in a fluid, ever-changing environment.
So finding that balance between holding on and letting go.
Exactly. And that's something we all face, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's the psychological power of our own subconscious,
Right.
the political power of those who try to control us,
Yeah.
or just the everyday challenges of life.
Okay. So we're all tricked to be like the turtle in a way.
Right.
Find that inner strength to move through the world with grace and purpose.
Exactly. Which leads to a big question. How do we cultivate that inner strength?
Yeah. That's a tough one.
How do we find that grounded center that lets us navigate life without being overwhelmed?
I don't know if there's an easy answer.
Probably not. But maybe it starts with recognizing that we're not alone in this.
Right. We're all trying to figure things out.
Yeah, find our way.
Make sense of the world.
Create meaning.
And maybe that's where those connections come in.
You mean like the beer and wine enthusiasts?
Yeah. They might have different preferences, different ways of expressing themselves.
Right.
But ultimately, they're both seeking connection.
Yeah. Or
Relaxation.
sense of belonging.
Exactly. And maybe even the Sandman represents that in a way.
How so?
Well, he might embody our fears,
Right.
our anxieties,
Yeah.
but he also reminds us that we all have those shadowy parts of ourselves.
Those hidden depths.
Exactly. And maybe acknowledging those parts is the first step.
Towards finding that inner strength.
Yeah. Recognizing that even in our darkness, there's still a spark of light.
I like that. It's like the turtle again.
Okay.
Hard shell, but also soft, vulnerable parts.
Right.
It's the integration of both that makes it so resilient.
Okay. I think I'm starting to see how all these pieces fit together.
Yeah.
The Sandman, the dictator, the drinks, the turtle, they're all pointing to this tension between control and chaos.
Right?
The allure and danger of power.
Yeah.
And the importance of finding that grounded center within ourselves.
Exactly. And it's not just the content of these sources,
Right.
it's also the form and style.
Oh, okay.
The Sandman lyrics are stark haunting. Chaplin's film is witty satirical.
Yeah.
The beer and wine battle rap is playful.
Right.
And the turtle image is quiet still.
Okay. So each medium offers a different way of looking at these ideas.
Exactly. Inviting us to think in new and unexpected ways.
And speaking of different mediums,
Yeah.
we haven't talked about the music yet.
Right. All those snippets and lyrics.
Yeah.
From German gangster rap to orchestral pieces.
It's a pretty wide range.
Yeah, I think it adds a whole other layer of meaning.
Okay. Yeah. The music definitely intensifies the emotions.
It does. Like the gangster rap mirrors the Sandman's intensity, and the orchestral pieces evoke a sense of mystery.
Okay. So the music is like a soundtrack to our journey.
Exactly. Heightening the emotional impact of each encounter.
Wow. This deep dive is really coming together.
Yeah.
But before we go too far,
Yeah.
I'm curious about the connection between power and joy. We've talked about the dangers of seeking power over others.
Right.
And the importance of finding inner strength.
Yeah.
But where does joy fit into all this?
Yeah.
Can we be joyful while dealing with all this complexity?
It's a really good question. And it's something I think about a lot too, you know?
Yeah.
Can we really experience joy if we're always trying to be in control?
Right.
Or if we feel powerless?
Yeah.
It's tricky,
Yeah.
but I think it comes back to that balance.
Okay, the balance we were talking about.
Exactly. Remember the turtle?
Yeah.
It doesn't just hide in its shell.
Right. It still moves around,
Yeah.
interacts with the world.
Exactly. It finds food.
Yeah.
And it experiences joy, too.
So maybe joy isn't about ignoring all the tough stuff.
Right.
Maybe it's about finding joy within those complexities.
Yeah.
Finding those moments of lightness and connection,
Yeah.
even when things are difficult.
I think that's a great way to put it. And that's maybe where those simple pleasures come in.
Okay. The beer with friends.
Yeah.
The glass of wine.
That quiet moment, watching a turtle.
Right. They remind us that joy can be found in the everyday things.
Absolutely. It doesn't have to be this big grand thing.
And maybe those small joys are even more powerful.
How so?
Well, because they happen when things are tough.
Mm-hmm.
They're like these little reminders that there's still beauty in the world.
I like that.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big part of what we've learned in this deep dive.
Okay.
It's not about easy answers or simple solutions.
Right. Life's more complicated than that.
Exactly. It's about embracing the paradox,
Okay, the tension,
the interplay between light and shadow control and chaos.
power and joy.
Yeah. Life is messy, complicated, unpredictable.
And that's okay.
More than okay. It's what makes life interesting.
Right. And I'm thinking about the music again.
The Doza crew.
Yeah. It's funny,
Mm-hmm.
but also thought-provoking.
Right.
Kind of weird.
Definitely. But in a good way.
Yeah. It's like they're embracing the paradox.
I see what you mean. They're not afraid to be playful and serious at the same time.
Exactly. It's liberating.
It is. It's like they're giving us permission to be ourselves.
Yeah. Our full complex selves.
With all our contradictions and quirks.
Mm-hmm. Like they're saying, life is weird. Let's not take it too seriously.
Right. Let's laugh. Let's dance. Let's think. Let's feel. And let's find joy in all of it.
I love that. And I think it's a great way to wrap up this deep dive.
It has been quite a journey.
Yeah. From the Sandman to dictators.
Beer and wine to turtles.
It's amazing how it all came together.
It is. And I think we've learned a lot about power balance.
And the search for joy.
Exactly. And I have a feeling we'll keep thinking about these ideas for a while.
Me too. It's not about finding all the answers.
Right.
It's about opening our minds to new possibilities.
Expanding our understanding of the world.
And finding joy in the journey.
Well said. I think that's a perfect way to end this deep dive.
Thank you for joining us. We hope you enjoyed it.
We hope it made you think.
And maybe even laugh a little.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning.
And keep embracing the beautiful complexity of it all.